The hard stuff, all about bones. The hard stuff, all about bones. Focus question. Why are bones an important part of the human body and how can we keep them strong? Body shapers. Lizards have one, elephants have one, even fish have one. You have one too. What do you all have? You all have skeletons. Skeletons are the bones inside animals' bodies. The skeleton is a frame that has muscles, blood vessels, and skin wrapped around it. Skeletons give vertebrates. Humans and many other animals have their shape. You can identify many animals just by looking at their skeletons. The human skeleton is made up of 206 bones, starting at the top with the skull and ending at the bottom with the toe bones. Many bones have muscles attached to them by tendons. These bones help us move. Some bones protect soft organs inside our bodies, such as the hearts and the brain. Many large bones have special areas in the center that make blood cells. Tissues called the ligaments connect the bones to make up the skeleton. To learn how bones work, let's take a closer look at specific body areas. Heads up. Think about the human forehead, the part of the face above the eyebrows. Do you think it is soft like a pillow or hard like a disc? The forehead is hard because the skull or a cranium is right there under the skin. The cranium is one set of bones in the body. It protects the brain, a very important and very soft organ. The cranium is like a crash helmet, except that it is not as strong. For that reason, people need to wear helmets when they play some sports. If you think about your head, your skull might seem to be a piece. Actually, though, the skull is made up of many different bones. The bones came together at special joints called sutures. Unlike other joints, sutures don't move that much. Remember the forehead? This part of the skull is the frontal bone. The ridge of bone above your eyes is the supraorbital ridge. The largest part of your skull covers the top and back of the head. These two bones are the parietal bones. The part of the skull just above the neck is the back is the occipital bone. At the sides of the skull above the ears are the temporal bones. You know, the skull has 22 bones, not counting the 6 in the middle ears and 1 in that throat. Under the cheeks, it is possible to feel the cheekbones or zygomatic bones. The jaw is made up of 2 bones, the upper jaw or maxilla and the lower jaw or mandible. The lower jaw is one of the few bones in the skull that can move on its own. Bonus. The ears also have bones, the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, which are attached to the eardrum. These bones are the tiniest bones in your body. When the eardrum picks up sounds and vibrates, the eardrum moves the hammer. The hammer then vibrates, which makes the anvil vibrate, which in turn punches the stirrup. Nerves detect these vibrations and send them to the brain, which makes meaning of the sounds. For those who are deaf or hard of hearing, hearing aids act as an amplifier. Hearing aids help the brain better pick up the vibrations from the hammer. If you look at a skeleton, you might see something missing from its face, a nose. The part of the nose that sticks out is not made of bone, but rather of a tissue called cartilage. A nose can be touched and moved around. Cartilage, unlike your bones, can bend. Cartilage, which is also found at the ends of bones, keeps them from rubbing together. Skeletons also have teeth, but teeth are not bones. Teeth are harder than bones. The outside of a tooth is made of a substance called enamel. Enamel is the hardest substance in the body. Put your back into it. The skull connects to the backbone, also called the spinal column. The first few parts of the spinal column start at the back of the neck. The ridges of a spinal column continue down your back all the way to your hips. These ridges, called vertebrae, are the individual bones of the backbone. The backbone has 33 vertebrae. 7 vertebrae, the cervical vertebrae, are in the neck. 12 vertebrae run from the top of the back to about the middle of the back. They are the thoracic vertebrae. 5 lumbar vertebrae are at the back of the waist, followed by 5 fused sacral vertebrae which sit between the hips. The remaining vertebrae from the coccyx at the bottom of the spinal column. Bones bonus. The top two vertebrae are the atlas and axis. These two vertebrae allow people to nod and shake their heads. The spinal column has two important jobs. First, it protects the soft spinal cord which runs through the vertebrae. The spinal cord is the place where all the nerves in the body meet to send information to the brain. The spinal column also allows bodies to bend, twist, roll, and flip. Because the backbone is a chain of bones instead of one solid bone, it is very flexible and can move in many directions. The skull is not the only set of bones attached to the backbone. The ribs and pelvic bones are attached to it too, along with giving shape to the chest. The ribs protect the lungs and heart. If a person bangs on their chest, their lungs and heart don't get squashed because the ribs provide a sturdy wall around them. A rib cage has 12 bones on each side, each of which is connected to one of the 12 thoracic vertebrae. Near the top end of the spinal column, you will also find a scapula, and clavicle on each side. Scapula is the technical term for the shoulder blade. The clavicle is the technical term for the collarbone. The scapula and the clavicle make up the shoulder. Near the bottom of the spinal column, 2 hip bones formed the pelvis. On each side, a pelvic bone looks like a shallow dish or bowl. That's because it holds the intestines and other lower body organs. Boning up. The skeleton of a newborn baby is not the same as the skeleton of an adult. Before birth, the body has cartilage instead of bones. As the body grows and develops, the cartilage hardens and turns to bones. By the time a baby is born, most of the cartilage has become bone. As babies become children and then adults, their bones continue to harden or even join together. One of the last sets bones to join together is the group that makes up the pelvis. These bones become in one solid structure when a person is in their late teens or early 20s. And now the appendages. Arms and hands, legs and feet, a body's appendages allow people to perform different activities. Arms and hands allow people to lift and hold things, while legs and feet help people move around. These actions are possible in part because of the bones inside the body's appendages. Each arm contains 3 bones, the humerus and radius and the ulna. The humerus is the upper arm bone attached at the top of the shoulder. Atop to the shoulder, the radius and the ulna make up the lower part of the arm between the elbow and wrist. The wrist and hand together have more bones than any other part of the body, 27. That's a total of 54 bones for both hands. Because wrists and hands have also many bones, they are very flexible and precise, allowing people to do complex activities such as tying shoelaces or writing. Many for manipulating. Fingers may be smaller than arms, but they have more bones. Here's how the number of bones in each part of the arms and hands compare. Arm, 3 bones. Wrist, 8 carpals. Palm, 5 metacarpals. Each finger, 3 phalanges. Each thumb, 2 phalanges. Fingers and thumb, 14 phalanges total. The bones of the legs and feet are similar to the bones of the arms and hands. The top portion of the leg is one solid bone called the thigh bone or femur. A femur. The bottom part of the leg has two bones, the shin bone or tibia and fibula. Between the upper and lower parts of the leg is one more bone, the kneecap or patella. The kneecap lies over the knee joint, protecting the tendons beneath it that allow the leg to bend. Bones bonus. The longest, strongest, and largest bone in the body and the largest bone in the human body is in the leg. It's the thigh bone or femur. The femur extends from the pelvis to the knees. To break the femur requires a large amount of force. For example, a person would have to fall from a great height or have a high-speed collision while skiing or skating. Like the hand, the foot is a complex collection of many bones. Each foot has one fewer bone than a hand, 26, for a total of 52 bones for both feet. The ankle and heel of a foot have 7 tarsal bones, and the ball of a foot has 5 metatarsal bones. Like the hand, the foot has 14 phalanges, 2 for the big toe and 3 each for the remaining toes. Skin and tissue on the bottoms or soles of the feet protect the bones from the impact of jumping and running. Don't get out of joint. Along with 206 bones, the adult human body has over 100 joints. Joints are the places where bones meet. Bones are hard and unbending, but because bones are connected at joints, our bodies can bend and twist. Bones bonus. Sometimes we say that people are double-jointed, which doesn't mean they have 2 joints instead of 1. Double-jointed people are more flexible than the average person because the ligaments between their joints are looser. These loose ligaments allow them to bend in unusual ways. Not all joints are the same. The joints where the humerus connects to the shoulder bone is a ball and socket joint. The connection between the femur and the pelvis is another joint of this type. The top end of the humerus has a ball shape. This ball fits snugly onto a ground socket in the shoulder. The same is true for the femur, which fits into the pelvis. The elbow joint and the knee joint are hinge joints. Hinge joints can bend in only one direction. The joints between the vertebrae of your spine are swivel joints, which tilt and turn. Sutures connect the skull bones but do not allow much movement. Inside your bones. It might seem as the bones are hard and dead, like rocks, but that is not the case. Bones are alive with millions of bone cells that need oxygen and food to survive, just like other types of cells. On the outside, a bone is hard and solid. This outer layer is the compact bone. Below the compact bone is the spongy bone, which has holes to keep the bones light so our muscles can lift them. Inside the spongy bone is bone marrow. Bone marrow is the place where the body makes blood cells. The bone marrow in most adults produces more than 50 billion red blood cells every day. Keeping your bones healthy. Even though bones are very strong, they can break if they are hit hard enough. Healing a broken bone requires a little help from a doctor and a great deal of help from bone cells. For a bone to heal correctly, the bone must be put back the way it was before the break. Doctors may need to move around the broken bones to put them back together. Then they place a cast around the body part where the bone was broken. The cast keeps the body part from moving so the bone has time to heal. As soon as the bone breaks, bone cells begin repairing it. Holding the broken bone in place with a cast allows the bone cells to do their job. Bones need to stay healthy to remain strong. Exercising regularly is the best way to keep bones in good working order. Eating a well-balanced diet helps the bone marrow to produce healthy blood cells. Legumes, such as pinto beans or peas, other vegetables, the fruit are good for bones. Foods rich in calcium, such as dairy products and fortified soy milk, rice milk, and orange juice can also help bones to grow. Bones give a body its shape. and they also give it much more. They give the body the ability to move, sit, stand, and write. Human bodies wouldn't be the same without bones.